If you're a coach and you've been coaching for years now and you're charging by the hour because somebody convinced you, told you that's the only way for you to grow your business, I'm going to introduce you to an incredible coach. Her name is Antoinette, who was able to generate more in 3 weeks than she used to do in almost a year in business. We're going to talk about how she did it, what you can start doing immediately, and what she's never going to go back to that she used to believe in that slowed down her business, and why now more than ever is the time for you to jump into building your coaching business because it's never been easier than today.
Sandra, how are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm excellent. I'm very excited to have you on the show. So thank you for coming on. And before we talk about where you are now, what I would love for us to dive into is for you to take me back to where you were before you started on this coaching journey with me. Where were you? What was your reality when it came to your business? What was going on?
So, thank you so much for that question. And thank you for having me on this platform and to share my experiences that I've had so far. So, before I met you, I was a life coach and spiritual director and grief coach as well. And I'm someone who I have a background in psychology. So I've always been deeply drawn to understanding human behavior. And this came in so natural for me. I found myself supporting people and being companion, other people on their journey, having conversations on kitchen tables and even on the phone with my friends, chatting, supporting them, and just guiding them in whatever they were experiencing. And I was just doing that. I wouldn't say I was doing that as a full-time job. That was just part of my joy and caring for people because it felt so natural to me. It feels so natural talking to people and giving them all my support and guidance that I have. It was like a daily reality of pouring out support without any structure. I was doing it part time and I was charging, but I felt like there wasn't that much structure into it. It wasn't aligning with real sustainable offering, but I knew I was doing something. I was companioning people and offering my support to them.
Got it. And so take me back, because by the time you and I started working together, I think you had been coaching for how long?
By the time you and I started working together, I had been coaching for a few years.
Okay.
And I had also been a spiritual director, life coach, spiritual director, and grief coach.
Okay. So you knew there was another level that you weren't
I
tapping into.
I knew there was another level I could tap into, and I never really gave myself that opportunity to get into that level. I just felt that I'm doing so well with wherever I was at that time. And I knew that as time goes on, I'll eventually tap into that level, but I didn't know exactly when I was planning to do so. And also, raising kids and all that also delayed that process.
Got it. And so what changed for you? Because I'm sure there are people watching who are comfortable too. Maybe you're working your 9 to 5 and you're making good money. So it's not a, if I don't do this thing, I'm going to be homeless. What was it inside of you that said, where I'm at is cool, but I really must get to that next level? What made you say that?
When I noticed that I was doing that a lot for friends and colleagues coming to me and just tapping my brain and just picking and getting my guidance and support. And I remember a friend saying to me, "You've changed my life," right? And it hit me. I felt a mixture of surprise and excitement because I enjoy working and guiding and supporting and using all what I know to help people. So when that friend made that statement, that moment, I felt this shift inside me. Like I was already doing the work. That's when I decided I'm going to acquire more knowledge. I'm going to equip myself with resources. I'm going to go in for training and certifications. So when I started to explore that arena, that's when I ran into you. And I thought, okay, I need some more resources here. I need structure. I need to make this thing bigger than what it is because this is my passion. This is what I have learned. I have acquired knowledge in this. I have the experiences in this. I'm already doing this, but in a smaller scale. I got to go big. I got to take that leap and I got to do it.
What did you tell that voice? I'm sure was there that said, what if it doesn't work? Like you're gonna go hire this person, you don't know them. How did you work through that voice?
That's a beautiful question, Sandra, because that voice was there and I heard that voice quite a few times. One thing about me is I cherish my relationship that I have with God. I have this relationship that is a continuous journey for me every day. And when I hear that voice, I sit with that voice. I try to find out where that voice is coming from and what is that voice saying to me. The voice of doubt, I know that the God that I serve and I love will not speak to me in that voice. That voice was coming from the place of fear. That voice was coming from the place of not wanting change. When I saw your video, something jumped out of me. Like I said again, the spirit, manifests in so many ways. When I saw your video, I knew that I needed to talk to this person because I've been receiving so many other videos on social media, right? Of other people trying to build business, showing how to structure your business and guide you and all that stuff. When your video landed on my platform, there was something about that video that I knew I was being led by my God. I was being led by the Spirit. And the doubt, even though the doubt was there, the voice was there, but it wasn't as loud as the voice that I listen all the time to. So that's why I took that leap. That's why I jumped into it.
Thank you for sharing that. And I want to, because we are both African, the voice, I don't know about you, but the voice for me when I wanted to go to college was not loud. There was no voice. There was, you better go to college. I don't care how much it is. You are going to college. And we say that to our kids, that's just embedded. It doesn't matter. We'll sell land, we'll sell a car, you are going to college. But somehow for me, and tell me if that was true for you, the voice sounds so much louder when it comes to something like investing in coaching, investing in a personal project. That's not necessarily the proven path. So if I had told my husband I want to go back to school and get a PhD in biochemistry, there will be no conversation. They'll be like, baby, if you want to go back to school, go back to school. But the same conversation, if I said I'm going to spend $10,000, 20,000, whatever the thing is, on coaching, people want to see a business plan. Like the questions are so many. How do you get people to believe in this thing? That's not the path that we always go through. How did you convince family, husband? Did you not? Walk me through that process for you when it came to making investments into the business. With me, prior to me, what were those conversations and how did you overcome that?
Right. Like you said, education is embedded in our souls, right? You grow up knowing that this is a given. To me, just like you going to college was a no-brainer. This was something that was expected. However, with coaching, since it's something that comes natural for me, it's an inborn gift. It's my purpose. Culturally, we're not encouraged to go to someone and seek support, especially when it comes to our emotions. It's not a natural thing. You suppress it, you sit with it, and just figure out how to survive. But we are all humans and we experience the same challenges, we experience the same problems, and we go through the same day-to-day issues that comes with life. So as much as that voice was there, I knew that I have the passion for it and I have that gift to share with people. So I ignored the voice.
Was it hard convincing your partner? A lot of time I talk to wives who are like, I'm in. I want to invest in this thing, but the partner is typically the one who's like, people pay people for that. Not that they don't believe in you, it's just they don't know. Again, it's not part of our culture. So they don't see how they're going to get a return, how you're going to get a return on investment. Is that a conversation you had to have in your household? Was that a question for you, a challenge for you that you had to overcome or no?
I wouldn't really say it was a challenge because, like I mentioned earlier, my background is in psychology, right? So I'm so into human behavior. I have been doing this for quite a bit, but not as intense as I am doing it right now. So my husband is familiar with me journeying with clients and supporting them. The difference here is Most of the people, paid clients that I've been working with are non-Africans, right? So now I need to get into the territory where I'm saying to my people that we also need these services. It is as important to us as everyone else. We go through grief, we go through life transition and challenges, we all experience all this. So my husband I didn't really have to fight with him when it comes to that because I was already doing it on a smaller scale. My convictions sold him because I'm saying, well, you've seen me do this every day. You hear me talk every day. So let's make it bigger. Let's take that leap. There is no guarantee here, but I believe in what I do. I believe in my purpose. I believe in the gift that I've been given. So you need to believe in that and trust me. I know that we can do this.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Because one thing I tell folks is there's nothing like a woman who is determined to save her babies or wants to shop. We don't always have that level of conviction for our dreams. And so it's easier to then say, oh, but my husband didn't want to. Well,
Yeah.
your husband didn't want that house either, but you somehow convinced him.
So
Yeah.
I think, Sandra, I just want to piggyback to what you said. Self-doubt. Self-doubt holds a lot of people, and especially women of color. Self-doubt holds us behind. It holds us back because once we say something to the other person and they show even an increment of doubt, we crumble. We just let go. If you believe that you're passionate about something, if you believe that you know or you have the expertise to do something, you can support someone or a group of people to do something, and you feel that your gut is telling you that, you know that, go for it, fight for it, because that's who you are, that's your purpose. Don't let self doubt is always going to creep in. It's always going to creep in. It's part of being human. But the most important thing is how do we allow it? Do we allow it? And if we do, how much do we allow it?
Mm. Oh, that's so
So when we're
powerful.
talking to your partner or you're talking to your loved ones about your passion or what you think you're really good at, be confident about it. Tell them what you do, or you can give examples of the people that you've worked with or how you've helped others, and just hone on that, because that is your purpose, that is your gift, that is who you are. And just like you mentioned earlier, having an education is embedded in our DNA. But sometimes we go to school and we study things that will come out of school with degrees and certification, and we're not passionate about. We don't enjoy doing it.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. So I would love to shift gear. Thank you for that. And talk about the journey inside the coaching program. So walk me through what the journey actually looked like. What did you build first?
I'm running a very structured coaching practice, serving multiple clients each month. And have I made my investment return or money back? Yes, yes, yes. I'm comfortable setting financial goals. I'm comfortable knowing that my revenue has tripled and it's going to triple before the end of the year because I have the structure in place. I've created my program that I'm working with. I've created a program that I know will serve anyone that comes my way. Anyone, whether it's life coaching, spiritual direction, or grief coaching and life transition. The program that I have that I created, that I was able to get those resources and tools from your program, has guided me into creating programs that I wish I had. I was going through my grieving process, when I was going through some life challenges and changes. I wish I had the program that I have now when I was experiencing those changes and transformation in my life. So all that came from this program. All that came from me clicking that button and saying, I want to schedule a clarity call with Sandra and find out what this is all about.
Hmm. Who would you say is the ideal client? Who is this program for? Who is it not for? save some folks some time, some money, and so that the woman that's listening can self-identify. What's this program for?
I would say this program is for someone who feel like they have that passion for something and they are doubting themselves if they can do it alone. This program is for someone who feels like they are all over the place. They don't have that structure, that business structure that needs to be in place in order to make time for other things in their life. This program is for someone who need guidance in creating boundaries. This program is also for someone who needs that support or the nudge for someone to say, you can do it, you're good at it, you know your stuff, and this is your purpose. This is a gift that God has given you. Make use of it because you will help and touch so many other lives along the way. And this is for that person who is hearing the noise, or the noise is coming from outside and saying that you cannot do it. I don't think you can do it. Look at all the 110 things that you're doing. You don't have time for this. You're too busy to do it. You're too busy to commit yourself to it. Challenge yourself and say, okay, I'm already too busy, but let me see how I can create structure to make time and do, or to grow this seed that has been sitting in me for so many years. And I know that if I grow it, I will do good, not to others, but also to myself. I don't regret signing this program. I will recommend anyone that I feel like is struggling to get that structure and guidance with their business. I'll recommend it seriously because I saw it. I mean, I was already in week 3, 4 when I started telling him that, just because of what I was getting out of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's still such a wild thing in our community. And so I always find it very interesting what the behind the scene conversations are with the spouse.
Yeah.
They can be real with you and be like, wait, what?
New in our community, and I find myself explaining it time and time again to people what I do. And I don't blame them because it's not a normalized conversation. Coaching someone, you're coaching someone, you're a grief coach, coaching someone. Oh, when someone dies, you cries and you move on. What are you coaching them for? What are you coaching them for? Life transition. But these are the things these are the challenges that we experience every single day. We don't just have a name for them. We don't name them. So because we don't name them, they don't come natural to us. So when we hear that someone is a coach, someone is a business coach, or someone is a grief coach or a life coach, we're like, okay, what is that?
Thank you, Antoinette. Final question for you is tell the people where they can find you, how you support people. Just give them the information.
Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so. So I am a certified trained grief coach, life transition coach, and also a spiritual director. You can find me on my social media handle is at tlifecoachinggief. T for Tom, Life Coaching Grief, one word. My website is www.T for Tom, Life Coaching Grief. So schedule if you're going through or experiencing any type of grief or life transitions in your life and you feel like you lost yourself in the process and you want to find yourself again, or you want to get back to that person that you know you've always been, or that person that you know God created you to be. Ping me, give me a shout out, check me out on my website, T for Tom, lifecoachinggrief.com.
Awesome. Antoinette, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be on here today. It was such a it was great connecting because I've missed you in the program and you shared so many empowering, impactful things. And grief coaching, one of the things we always talked about in the program was there's not a lot of people in our community that do grief coaching. And it was really, really important for me that people be aware. Because one thing for sure, we all gonna die. We're all going to die. We're all going to lose something, lose ourselves. Because that's one thing you told me. Say, hey, grief is not just the passing of a person. There's so many ways that people experience grief. And I was like, oh, I never even thought of that.
Yes.
But this is why you are needed, and your voice is so needed, and why I wanted you on here today, so that somebody can see you and say, "Oh my God, my mom has
Mm-hmm.
been grieving," or "Oh my God, is that what I've been experiencing all these years? I've not healed from that." We've not even talked about miscarriages and the things like in our
Oh,
community. All these things are so taboo, but people need help, and deserve help. So Antoinette is your girl for that. I can vouch. She's incredible. So definitely we'll put her information below so you guys can click on the link and go follow her. Follow her on all social media. Book that session, book that call, that consultation
yeah.
call, and book her now before we increase the rates again. I love it. Listen, thank you guys. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you in the next one.